This video is for component 4.4 Seng's Laws of Systems Thinking interview questions. The interview question that I'm going to be speaking to today, or answering today, is the following. One of Seng's laws of systems thinking is that cause and effect are not closely related in time and space. Please provide an example of when you led an initiative and the cause and effect were not readily available or obvious, and you had a pleasant surprise. For me, the best example of this is a school initiative called Outdoor Play and Learning, or OPAL for short. Implementing this program involved changing the way recess times were conducted at the elementary school level. Here's the situation or the background. In 2018, our school board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, was looking to become a partner of the Outdoor Play and Learning Initiative, OPAL for short, and that was being promoted by Earth Day Canada. The Toronto District School Board already had several schools signed up for the initiative, and my school was asked to be part of a pilot of 4 schools that would test the program. In viewing this program as an innovative way of promoting play and creativity during recess time, I agreed that our school should take part. The action taken was to work with staff to implement the program, we engaged in 4 key features, our focus was 4 key areas. Firstly, we worked with our school board team. By we, I mean myself and my vice principal. Worked with our school team to conduct a play audit and draft a school play policy. We worked with the school team and the representatives from Earth Day Canada to provide professional development to staff and to communicate the initiative to parents. We worked with the school team to remove systemic barriers to free play during recess time. Now, for example, we removed play areas to allow for free roaming of the schoolyard, whereas before we had an area for different age groups. And we worked with school staff and the community to collect and provide random objects that were called loose parts into the playground to provide children with objects to engage with creatively and to promote creative play. For example, we used old tires and we used buckets, among other things. There were several desired outcomes. They included the following. The first was an environmental goal, and we instead of using the word recycling, we would use the word upcycling, which would take an item that would end up in the trash and reusing it for creative reasons. So we would upcycle durable materials and provide a second life to other items, getting play value from items that would otherwise have been discarded and caring for the natural and social environment around the school as a whole school responsibility. We had an equity goal, which was to remove barriers to play. For example, removing restrictions to spaces in the schoolyard, removing limits to access to the natural elements such as snow, and that it was open. This type of play was open to all children, regardless of age, race, or gender. We also had self-regulation goals, and this was to enable children to self-assess and self-regulate while making healthy and beneficial choices during their play. This would allow children to understand and learn from the natural consequences of their choices. So what we ended up doing was taking the recess times, removing the barriers, adding the loose parts, and letting children play and be creative. In reflecting on the outcome of the implementation, I observed the following. During our first year of implementation, which was in 2018-2019 school year, there was an anticipated resistance from adults, both staff and parents, around issues of safety and around their own comfort in terms of removing barriers or restrictions. Myself and our vice principal needed to tap into our psychological resource of optimism to counterbalance any expected negative sentiment that would arise as new expectations and routines were established. We had to play a bit of a cheerleader role here in order to get people excited and stay excited about our OPAL program. There were also expected and unexpected early challenges with children who became so excited about the play and the removal of the barriers and the addition of these loose parts that some early conflicts arose over the loose parts. Here, myself and our vice principal engaged our cognitive resources of problem solving. In that not only did we need to clearly articulate program goals to parents and staff and students, but we also had to come up with creative solutions to any unanticipated challenges during implementation. The things we could foresee, we could plan for. The items that we could not plan for because we didn't foresee them needed that creative cognitive resource. Also, as this new routine became the new normal at our school, as early concerns began to ease, the expected improvements in play began to become visible, and incidents of student conflicts during recess began to visibly decline. Now, with regards to Seng's law of systems thinking, the idea here is what was unexpected, a pleasant unexpected surprise. And this took place in the second year of implementation. Namely, classroom teachers who always complained that they didn't have enough time for daily physical activity, DPA, and those that showed the most discomfort with the OPA program at the beginning, began to take children outside more and more to engage in creative play and promote that much needed daily physical activity time. The pleasant surprise for me is how the OPAL program, in addition to meeting the expected goals of creative play and reducing conflict during recess time, also unexpectedly began to encourage more opportunities for cooperation among staff and an unexpected platform. The OPAL program provided a platform to reignite a stalled daily physical activity program at our school. During this phase of implementation, I needed to tap into the social resources by resisting the temptation to say, "Ha, I told you so. I knew this was going to work. You just should have listened to me." I needed to resist that and instead praise staff for being open to new ideas and creative ways to take advantage of our OPA program to re-engage students in any which way that they found reasonable and useful, and in this case, the DPA program. As a side note, and in conclusion, with the start of the pandemic, after 2 years of implementation and some interesting benefits that were beginning to manifest, we had to pause the program due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But it'd be interesting to see into the third and fourth year of our OPA program how more unexpected positive benefits would have derived, and perhaps after the pandemic we could revisit these particular pieces to see how more unexpected benefits would arise in order to address this issue that cause and effect are not always necessarily closely related in time and space.